Good morning, guys. I wanted to pop in here and just go live and kind of share my story. So some of you are new followers and you're like, I don't even know what you're talking about. You've been doing this behind the scenes. Like, what exactly is this? And then some of you have been following me a long time, but maybe haven't heard my story. So I thought I would share that today. Pretty passionate about what I do. And I wanted to kind of tell you how I got here and how I started this coaching that you hear me talk about. And you're thinking, okay, do you coach a sports team? Like, what are you doing? So I'm here to kind of talk about it and kind of share with you my story. So just a little background. My husband and I have been married. It'll be 10 years this year, which is so crazy. And I have been a pretty active person my life. I didn't play any sports with balls growing up, but I was a cheerleader and a dancer and just, pretty active and, ate somewhat healthy, grew up eating healthy. Of course, we always enjoyed our treats and all that. So nutrition was never like a big issue for me in the sense of, I was eating the food groups and all of that stuff. So college was pretty good for me. I would, work out at the gym with my girlfriends, but I ran and just kept active and, was good about nutrition and all that in the sense. Not like crazy psycho about it. Eric and I got married and I got really into running. We moved to Athens, Georgia, and it's just a really awesome place to run, great sidewalks and just super fun. So I got really into running. I did 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons, all of that. Loved it. Was an avid runner all the way through my pregnancy, even with my first son. So my husband and I got pregnant with Tucker about 3.5 years into our marriage. And I carried him full term and did Zumba. I was obsessed with Zumba. I did Zumba and ran with him while I was pregnant with him my entire pregnancy. So super healthy pregnancy, super active, all of that. Got pretty much lost the baby weight and then got back into running. And then we found out we were pregnant with our, what we thought second baby, which actually our second and third baby, 11 months after Tucker was born. So Tucker's first birthday, we shared with our family that we were pregnant, and we had no idea it was twins at that point. So we found out a couple weeks later that it was twins. So my doctor knew how, active and how I was with my, my first pregnancy. And she said, listen, you're going to have to just walk with this pregnancy. When you're carrying multiples, you're automatically high risk, no matter how healthy you are, because there's more than one baby and that can be get a little complicated. So I, just had to walk, which was kind of hard for me because I wanted to run and do Zumba and all of that. So, but also was chasing around. Tucker was 19 months old when they were born. So that summer was kind of crazy with a toddler and carrying two babies in my tummy and all of that. But they were born super healthy, 6'10" and 6'14", which is kind of big for twins. And I had gained probably about 80 to 85 pounds being pregnant with them. Obviously, twin pregnancy is way different than singleton pregnancy. So I, lost a good amount of the weight after they were born with nursing and being busy, chasing 3 children around and all of that. I was working full time. As a teacher, I started teaching. I kind of forgot that part of my story. When we moved to Athens, I started teaching in 2009, and I taught 5th grade and 2nd grade and all of that, and I absolutely love teaching. I still love teaching, and also taught gifted. So got my master's in gifted and creative education at Georgia, go Dogs, and so that I forgot to put that part of my story. So as a teacher and all of that. So about when the girls were I would say about 15 months old, I started experiencing some extreme stomach issues. I won't go into detail because that's gross and nobody wants to hear of all that. But to the point where I was having scopes and medication and all kinds of doctor GI visits. It was pretty not fun part of my life. My husband had just finished up his master's degree and was beginning his first year of teaching. I was teaching. We had 3 kids under the age of 3, 2.5 at that point. And life was crazy and I felt like crap pretty much. So I had put myself on the back burner, which a lot of us mamas do. I didn't have time to work out. I didn't have time to eat. I didn't have time to make any food for myself. I was so busy with my kids. That's what I kept saying. I'm so busy. I don't have time, all of that. So that kind of started to catch up, and I think that had a lot to do with my stomach issues starting. So I was diagnosed with extreme gastritis and chronic heartburn. Two horrible things to have, especially as a woman, as a mama, as a teacher, all of that. It was very uncomfortable and horrible. So I got a bout of vertigo, which if you've ever had vertigo, it's pretty horrible, the weekend of my girl's second birthday. And this was, I think, probably the biggest turning point in my life in the sense of this journey. And I remember laying in that bed Friday before their party on Saturday, and it's going to make me cry thinking about it. I couldn't physically get up to decorate for their party. And I remember thinking, what have I done to myself? Like, why am I laying here in this bed, not being able to, didn't even think I was going to cry, decorate for their second birthday. And if you know me, I love party planning. It's like a side job I've always dreamt of having that I've never done. And I remember laying there thinking, Lindsay Ann, you've got to do something. Something has to change. You have to take care of yourself. You're so busy taking care of everyone else, but you're neglecting yourself. And now here you are, laying in the bed before their second birthday, unable to do anything. And thankfully, my mother-in-law, who is my rock besides my husband, prepared everything for the party. And I just remember being so sad that weekend. Such a happy time. We did a pancakes and pajamas birthday party, and it was so much fun in the sense of the theme, but deep down inside, it was so sad. I was so, I guess you would say, depressed, and so mad at myself for letting myself get so unhealthy and get to this point where here I was so sick. So I went through the fall kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I knew I needed a change. I knew I needed something that was going to fit into my life and to fit into being a busy mom and being a teacher and all of that. And so I started praying about it and knew that going to the gym was a possibility, but I just didn't know how I was going to really work that in. At the time, I was working full time and my babies were in daycare. And so the last thing I wanted to do was pick them up from daycare and then take them to the gym daycare. So I kind of, moved that on with that one. I thought about running again, but we had moved from Athens to a smaller community with less sidewalks. And so I knew running wasn't really going to be, doable, super, I could run in my neighborhood, but that gets boring after a while. So I was sitting at lunch. This was like late November, maybe December of 2015. I was sitting at lunch and this girl sitting next to me at work, she was eating out of these colored containers. And I was like, what are you doing? Can I ask you why you're eating out of these different colored containers? And she was like, yes, the 21-day fix. And I was just like, okay, I don't even know what that is. So she got me connected with the girl who had gotten her connected with the 21-day fix with these containers. So that's where it kind of all started. So I contacted the girl. She was another coworker of mine. And she got me set up to start 21-day fix, and I started on January 4th of 2016. So of course, those New Year's resolutions, like everyone's going to stick to them, right? But here I am 2 years later, still sticking to it. So it obviously has, worked, but I started the 21-day fix January 4th of 2016. And that is when life change happened for me in so many different areas of my life. Yes, I started, eating out of colored containers and working out at home and drinking my superfood shake. But within those 15 days, a couple of things happened to me. I called my GI doctor about a week into the 21-day fix and said, listen, I'm pretty sure I might not need this medication anymore. Can we try to wean off? And he was like, yes, let's try. So it took the full 2 weeks, but 2 weeks in, I was completely weaned from all of my GI medications for my severe gastritis and heartburn. And at the end of the 21 days, I had lost 15 pounds. So to some that's like huge, to some that's like, okay. But to me, it was like, okay, you can do this. Like you have made a change that's doable for your family. I didn't want to take away time from my kids, like I'd said, but I knew I needed something. I was feeling 150 times better. And I just knew that there was something to this. So I did the 21-day fix, and then I was like, well, I'm going to do another round. And my coach approached me kind of at the same time. Hey, Heidi. And she said, hey, girl, have you thought about coaching? Well, in my head, I'm going, well, I'm a teacher. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I don't I don't know how to coach. I've never coached anything. I don't have any degrees in that. I don't have any certifications. But I was like, well, just tell me a little bit more about it and I'll pray about it. So that's exactly what happened. She gave me a little bit more information. She put me in what's called a sneak peek, kind of what I've been telling you guys, showing you guys through the last couple of days, but it was on this Facebook group. And so I saw, these other women, of all different, types of women, like a working mom, a stay-at-home mom, all these different types of people doing this coaching thing. And I was like, well, if I can help one person feel better like I have felt in these last 21 days, then yeah, why not? So I went to bed praying about it and woke up the next morning with just this peace, like, okay, I think I can do this. The Lord is going to, show me what I need to do with this journey. But I feel like this is what I need to do. So I signed up to coach the end of January 2016. And then I started helping other people. And so I did that through just sharing my own journey. So at that point, I had completed one program from start to finish. I was drinking my superfoods every day, and I was plugged into this community. And that's what I think was the most important and pivotal part of this journey, was that community. So I had this group of women to, check in with every single day. I had this group that I could come to and say, hey, I'm running out of meal ideas. Like, what do I do? Or, my workout was so hard today. Oh my gosh, just a place to come to. So I have friends. I had friends from college and my work friends and all that, but I had no idea that I needed this community. I needed these friendships. I needed people that understood what I was going through, that I had been on this, really not fun path of my health and fitness journey. And now I was getting better and I was getting stronger and all of that. And I was being encouraged and I was being, told that I could do hard things. And, just that belief was there too through this accountability. So I started coaching, and that means just, helping other women with their health and fitness journey, getting them paired up with a program, an online program like me that I was doing in my own home. So wasn't missing out on time with my kiddos. My kiddos actually worked out with me. They still do. And I was getting to set an example for them. I was able to start meal prepping and planning for our family, and it, changed that whole trajectory too. My kids ate somewhat healthy before, but, now my kids are asking, Mom, can you slice me up a pepper? And can I have some more hummus and things like that? And to a parent, that just feels really good for your kids to be asking for these things. And, when there's all these other things they could be eating that aren't so great. But one of the things that I learned very quickly in my journey is balance. And balance, I use that in all the senses of the word in my journey. So balance in, my workouts. Like, I didn't need to be going to the gym and spending 3 hours when I could go home and work out for 30 minutes and get really great results. In the sense of nutrition, no, we don't eat peppers and hummus all day long in our household. We eat really good healthy meals, and then we have a treat and we go and eat donuts on Friday. But just having that balance, so it's not one extreme or the other. I also found a really good balance in taking time to use my gifts and talents that I have to grow into a business that I now run, and I'm an entrepreneur of, and I'm, the boss of, I guess you would say, of my own business. I make my own hours and things like that. So I did this while I was teaching still, and I love teaching. It was, obviously what I went to undergrad and got my master's in and all of that. But I just had this tug at my heart, and it was definitely, prayed about a lot about coming home and being home with my family. Eric and I were very blessed to be raised by stay-at-home moms, and that's kind of what we knew and all we had grown up with. And, we had talked about that when we first got married, that, we would love to have the same thing for our children. But some things had happened with his career, and he did a career change and things like that. So it wasn't necessarily what happened, planned when we had our children. And so that's okay. Like, the Lord provides, the Lord always shows you the direction to go in. And so when I started coaching, I just had this tug at my heart that this was something more than just, for my health and fitness. Obviously it was, huge part of that, but I felt like there was a tug on my heart to continue doing this and helping other women and to grow this business even more. So I finished my school year 2016, and then I taught 2017 to spring of 2000. No, my dates are all messed up. Sorry. I came home from teaching in May of 2017. Yes, that's it. So I was able to retire from my teaching position. And I say retire even though I'm only 33 years old, because I did not quit teaching. I love teaching. I still do, but I retired from teaching and now I'm able to be at home with my babies, with our family, be more present in our household. And it has been the biggest blessing ever. I love to work. I've never not wanted to work. I've had jobs since I was 16 years old. And this job has allowed me the freedom of making my own hours, working when I need to work or want to work, working at home, and really giving me that freedom for our family. But what I think is the best part of this whole entire journey is just what the Lord has done within me. I was not this horrible person who hated myself 2 years ago, but I was unhealthy and I was unhappy, and I wasn't being able to be the mom and the wife and the friend that I could have been at that time. And you guys know, when you aren't feeling your best, it's really hard to be your best for everyone else. And so that's what I learned very quickly when I started to put myself as a priority. And that's the thing I tell people. It's not selfish. You're not a bad mom. You're not a bad wife. How can you fill other people's cups up if your own cup is not full? And that's what I learned really quickly with this. And the Lord has taught me so much about that balance, but also, putting myself as a priority, because I was so sick at that point in my life. And that is because I neglected myself, and so my whole purpose for coaching and my whole outlook on it is to inspire and to be an example to other women, for them to realize they're fearfully and wonderfully made. Like, the way the Lord made you is perfect. But maybe you don't even realize your potential and how great you could be or can be by taking care of yourself. And that's in all aspects of the term. Maybe you don't need to lose weight. Maybe you just need to focus on yourself for 30 minutes a day of getting a good workout in. Or maybe your nutrition needs a little tune-up. Or maybe you need to read some personal development. That's been a huge aspect of this coaching journey for me, is just personal development and diving into things that are positive and uplifting. Because in this world we live in, you guys know, social media and TV and all of it is so negative. And why fill our brains with all of that negativity when we have so much good to do and so much good to spread? And so that has been a huge part of this coaching journey for me is, yes, weight loss, that's great. And yes, eating healthy, but really understanding and realizing that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, and that the Lord has great plans for me, and that I'm capable of doing hard things. So that's the message I always am trying to come across and give to my challengers and to my followers and to the people that I come in contact with. We're not trying to be perfect. We're not trying to be this certain weight or this certain type of, eating plan. We're eating all the food groups, we're working out at home, and we're loving on people. And that is what I get to do every day in this coaching opportunity, and this community that I'm a part of that has just, helped me so much personally in my life and all of that. So if you are still watching and listening, thank you. You're the sweetest. But I just wanted to share my story. My team is hosting a sneak peek into coaching today, and it's just some quick videos about different topics of coaching and what exactly coaching means to us and how it's fit into our lives. We have college girls on our team. We have single working women on our team. We have married women who are, starting families. We have stay-at-home moms. We have working mamas. We have it all. And that's the beauty of this business is, I started out as a full-time working mama doing this business, and now here I am being able to stay at home with my children and still work this business. So it's just brought so many blessings to myself and my team, and so we're just wanting to share about it, give you some more information about it today, and have you think about it. Maybe this is something that you've been thinking about, maybe following one of us for a while and want some more information. So there is a link in my bio that just says sneak peek. You can just click that and it'll give me your email so I can send you some information and get you in that group. If not, just message me. But I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and thanks for listening.